All right. So thanks everyone for coming to our March meeting here, Ward's Corner Civic League. I think it's quite a few regulars, but if you don't know me, I am Scott Gerlinger, the president here. So thanks for coming. We've got Aaron, our vice president, here. We've got Gray, our treasurer, in the back running tech for us. We've got Brenda, our secretary, Susan, our newsletter editor, which is looking great. Thank you. And Joan, one of our at-large members. I think that covers the board members we've got here. Let me think. Is there anyone who's new or wants to back again, wants to reintroduce themselves? Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I will open us up with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then our officer is not here tonight. He's out with Bobby Scott. So, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so Officer Toth is off at Bobby Scott's town hall, which he's scheduled right on top of our Civic League meeting, doing a detail there for him. So he's keeping our elected officials safe. But he did pass along the crime stats. He's also including the responses to questions concerning the ATV and dirt bike groups around the city. So I can take down questions. I'll read his report, and if people have questions, I can relay them back to him. So he said the Norfolk Police Department is continuing to combat the illegal dirt bikes and ATVs operating on city streets. Much like other areas of the country, Norfolk began to experience an influx of organized groups riding all-terrain vehicles recklessly throughout the city in March of 2021. The Criminal Intelligence Unit was immediately assigned to address the issue, resulting in numerous traffic and criminal charges being secured against the violators. The offenders were prosecuted with the assistance of the city attorney's office, and the nuisance was abated. Recently, residents from multiple neighborhoods have been reporting an uptick in this reckless behavior and have contacted Norfolk Police to express concerns for the habits being caused by these organized groups. With the support of both the city attorney's office and the Commonwealth's attorney's office to assist with prosecution of these violators, Norfolk Police Department is continuing the investigative efforts to identify and charge any individual who intentionally operates an all-terrain vehicle illegally on a city street. To support this police department's efforts, citizens are encouraged to submit tips, photos, and video by using the P3 Tips app or anonymously at www.p3tips, that's TIPS, P3TIPS.com /1126. We'll send out that link. I assume the 1126 is for Norfolk. Citizens may also report sightings of these riding groups by calling the non-emergency dispatch line at 757-441-5610. That's the normal non-emergency use number. He said, we'll look into every lead we receive in order to reduce the danger these riders impose upon our community members who are traveling lawfully on our city streets. Sorry, that was a quote from Chief Goldsmith. Goldsmith also said, those who choose to participate in this illegal act here in Norfolk can expect to be charged and have their property seized. All right. Cooperating. All right, so crime stats. All right, so for Ward's Corner, and the dates he's got here are from our last meeting, which was February 27th. Through today. Oh, great. I just realized, did I even put did that connect to the internet? If it went live, I guess it did. Okay, awesome. I guess it's working. That's good. Okay. Don't worry about it. I just all of a sudden had Bob walked in and I realized maybe I wasn't on the internet. So, John,
I couldn't help you.
Sorry,
if you weren't,
you just distracted me, Bob. Yeah, so the stats, these are from February 27th through March 20th today. I assume, hopefully we didn't have any those so recent. But anyway, he's got the 400 block of North Shore
There was a larceny parts from auto. Both license plates on the vehicle were stolen. In the 7400 block of Ruthven, there was a larceny parts from auto. A catalytic converter was stolen. In the 7300 block of Granby, larceny from auto. Gas stolen from a full tank and a spare tank. 7600 block of Newport Avenue, there was a stolen vehicle. One key was missing, no glass at the scene. The 7700 block of Nesbitt, there was a stolen auto. Victim went to pick her vehicle up from the mechanic, only to discover he let someone else hold onto the keys vehicle. Or hold onto the keys, vehicle had been taken. 7600 block of Granby, aggravated assault. Intoxicated victim was assaulted outside of Papa John's, not cooperative. And door window damaged by a gunshot, currently under investigation. Nothing more at this time. Any questions anyone wants me to take back to the officer?
I do have.
Yep.
On the motorcycles and that, those the
ATVs?
ATVs, there you go. Is there any, I haven't heard of anybody getting in a wreck or being hurt by them or anything, not the people driving them, but other civilians. Has there been any, nothing, no kind of stats on any of that? I mean, I see the guys going down the streets and doing wheelers as well. He gets hit by the right car, it's gonna be it, but you never hear anything on the news about it, so I assume that maybe they're lucky.
I can ask. We got Clem.
Yeah, down my street, for the 7800 Westmere, get in the back of the apartments. We used to have two vehicles, two of those small, low vehicles. They really rev their engines, really loud, and you could hear them a mile down the road. One of them, I think, is no longer there. There's another one that's still there, and I believe they live behind the apartment. I couldn't get the license plate number. I know I believe the back of the details on his windshield says nobody's perfect. All of it. So if you can pass the along to Officer Toth, because somebody messed somewhere between either actually Birmingham, because this way again, if he messed around Timothy and the rest of it, we could probably be ready for that to quiet down. If he's on Birmingham, the rest of it, he can hear that. You could probably get caught by surprise.
You said 7800 Westmere, or?
It's behind the apartments. I'm in 7816
Okay.
over there. And I'm right across the apartments near the dead end over there. And I believe he lives behind the apartments there. And because I can hear him coming out, and when he usually comes out, especially on the weekends, between 10 and 2 a.m. in the morning. On the weekends. So to have somebody kind of gets him messed out there between Birmingham and the rest of the part of the intersection. You can hear him all the way down on the other side.
Okay, but back at that far end of Westmere.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. All right. Well, I will pass that back along to the officer. With that, I will move on to our featured speakers tonight. We have Donna and Kay here to share with us about their stewards of our, our neighborhood spaces here. If you want, I can try to click along.
Can you advance?
Yeah, I can be your clicker here.
I'll start out. We are your neighbors. My husband Jeff and I live on Lisbon, and Kay lives on Berlin, and we both have gardens. We met each other in 2011 in the Norfolk Master Gardener training class. Jeff and I had moved down here in 2010 in the summer from Rhode Island, which is very different from what grows down here and what grows up there. So, and plus I didn't know anybody. So it was good for me to get involved with a group of like-minded people. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. And if you don't know what a master gardener is, we're just trained educators. We take a 10-week class on all kinds of aspects of gardening. And it's science-based information from Virginia Cooperative Extension to Virginia Tech and Virginia State. And it's standardized throughout the state. And every state has master gardeners and has cooperative extension. So we're all over the place, all around the city. And Kay's going to tell you about some of the places we are.
Here we are, right here in Prime Plus. We actually just support the Prime Plus garden. It's run by volunteers at Prime Plus, but they had a big installation, and so the master gardeners came and helped them out, because being educators, we're not generally the muscle for these things. Go ahead. We do, as educators, like to do any of the pop-up events around the city. This was at Lafayette Park a few years ago. We're talking right now about caterpillars, and you may recognize one of your neighbors in the background there.
Can you see well enough? The lights go down.
You know, food deserts are a problem in many urban cities, and they are a problem in Norfolk, just not unlike so many other cities. And so we do operate some gardens. Do you want him to get the lights?
Maybe a little bit, bring them a little bit, it might show up there.
Maybe, yeah, if you can
There you go.
Ah, there,
Yeah.
now you can see
do
it.
that. You're hired, Clem.
So we do operate a couple of gardens, pounds and pounds. All of that produce goes to the food bank. We do have a garden in East Ocean View, the East Ocean View Children's Garden at the Rec Center, and that produce goes to the neighborhoods. We support a number of community gardens in the city, and that's a real initiative right now. We're trying to get more community gardens going in the city. We have a plant sale every year. That's how we pay for all of our projects. And here we are. This was with maybe a dignitary there in the middle. Y'all may recognize if there's enough. This was when we were at Stockley Gardens, which was before COVID. After COVID, we've moved to the Hermitage, but we'll tell you more about it. The Urban Agriculture Program. That's something Will Redfern spoke last year to the Civic League, saying that we will actually make home visits. We'll come to your house if you ask us to. And we'll talk to you about how to start a garden, how to attract pollinators and have a pollinator bed or native plants. We're available for consults on any of those things. And we have material over there. I'm not sure when we're telling you that, but if you're interested in the urban agriculture program, it's right over there. And you can help yourself to that, and it'll tell you how to get in touch with Will. We love to educate children. Here's Miss Caterpillar, and she, I think, is at Lafayette Park, working with some children there on why insects are so essential.
So they're essential to older folks too. We really need insects in our gardens. Doug Talamy is a scientist. He's an entomologist from the University of Delaware. And he's written several books, which I've got over there you can take a look at. And he and his wife bought a 20-acre property in Pennsylvania that had been farmland, and in just a few years, by planting oak trees and other native shrubs and just seeing what came in naturally, he wound up finding an incredible number of insects. entomology. He just was really into what insects are coming, and he's kept researching with his graduate students and found that, as he says, insects are not optional. If we don't have insects, we're not going to have pollination of our crops, and we're not going to have the other things that eat insects, especially our birds that we love to see in our gardens. So baby birds are raised almost exclusively on caterpillars. They eat other insects too, but caterpillars are soft and juicy, and they don't have a lot of scaly material, so the mother bird or father bird can come and just stuff that caterpillar down and get on finding the next caterpillar. So what we need in our gardens are plants that caterpillars can eat. And the problem with some of our plants that we love in our gardens is that they're not native plants, and caterpillars can't eat them because they're designed, they've evolved to only be able to eat certain plants. So, as you've probably heard about this, we've read about it, we've heard about it on PBS. Insects and bird populations are declining all over the world, and there are many reasons for it. Habitat destruction, a lot of pesticide use, and just climate change too. Things not flowering at the same time that they're used to seeing them, and not coming into leaf, or coming into leaf too soon. So according to the person who took this beautiful chickadee picture with a big fat juicy caterpillar, yards that have too many non-native plants create food deserts for bugs and birds. So if we want to have more bugs and therefore more birds that we like, this is a bird feeder. A lot of nice plants, perennials especially, just some things that'll come up. Native plants don't need a lot of fertilizer, they don't need a lot of care, they've adapted to our region. So you put them in and it's pretty foolproof. And I guarantee you'll have more birds.
We have every one of those things in our yards. I'm looking at that, you and I.
Yep. So we can help by planting more native perennial flowers. I've got a list back there on the table, Help Yourself. It's just some of the perennials, annuals, trees, shrubs, and vines that do well here and that you can find at your local garden centers and nurseries. There are a lot of things that you might have to go to a specialty website and order, but these are things you can find right here. So also more trees and shrubs that are native, especially oak trees. They're really the most valuable tree for wildlife. And he has written an entire book about just about oaks and how valuable they are. So we can have less lawn. Doesn't mean you have to do away with your lawn, but Doug Tallamy claims that if every person decreased their lawn by 50%, we could have what he calls a homegrown national park, which would be a national park made up of all these properties all over the country. It would be as big as almost all of our real national parks put together. If you had all this reclaimed yard grass.
And one of the things he talks about when you do this is you can create pollinator corridors. So even if your next door neighbor didn't do it, if the person on either side of them did, the bees, the butterflies, they'll find it.
Yeah.
So we want to create pollinator corridors in Orange County.
And then I already covered this, if we could have a 20 million acre national park. You know, and our yard is already registered on the map.
And
It's
it's
on the
mine.
map, and Faye's yard.
How do you, oh, I guess.
Well,
here we go.
we've got the
Sorry, I'm
handout
not
in
asking
there.
questions.
We have a trifold
We've got-
flyer, it tells you all about your patio. You put some native plants in, you can register those on the map. And as you can see, Virginia is the quite as far along as North Carolina, but better than a lot of states. Pretty green.
Okay, and so our shameless plug for our plant sale, as I said, this is where our funds come from to support any project that we have going on. Was I supposed to let you say this?
No. We'll just say that there's a flyer.
Yeah,
For that, too. We've got
it's at the
flyer for everything.
Hermitage. This is the Millstone Courtyard, and that's where we were last year, and I think the next one is the flyer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next one's the flyer.
Okay, this is where I was supposed to start talking.
Yeah,
Donna
yeah.
was supposed to.
No.
But here it is. It's on April the 13th, Thursday, April the 14th, Friday. You'll notice on Thursday, we do go till 7 p.m. So we can catch a few people that work. But it starts at 10 a.m. both days. And there's lots of different things there. There'll be bookstores, native plants, southern faves, I'm not sure. Ask a master gardener. You can bring your gardening questions there. Garden junk was a great thing last year. I mean, everybody
Green elephant.
brought all their green elephant stuff. Boy, did people love it. And Grow with Gil. Those of y'all that frequented gardens in a flower pot when it existed probably knew Gil. And Gil is a master gardener. He still has his greenhouse, so he still brings his babies.
He's been a master gardener for over 30 years. And he still loves to come to all our events and share his knowledge. He always has a crowd around him.
And all of the profits from all of these things go to the master gardeners.
But we do give a percentage to the hermit.
To the hermitage. So that's our shameless plug. But the other thing, go ahead, is that we cooked up a scheme so that at the ice cream social, which I saw was going to be June 12th, we're going to bring some pollinator plants, and we're hoping other people in the Civic League can bring pollinator plants, and we can share our plants.
For plant giveaway.
And that way, when you go home, you'll have some more. And we'll have some. Yeah, we'll have it.
And if you have any questions.
Thank you.
All right. All right, questions?
Can I ask you how long it takes to be an master gardener?
It's a 10-week class, two mornings a week or 2 evenings a week, depending on when you.
Well, 50 hours of classroom
50,
instruction
yeah.
and then 50 hours of volunteering with a master gardener to learn under their wing.
And then we are required every year to volunteer a certain number of hours, and most of us do a lot more than.
And get continuing education credits
And we
as
do
well.
have to
But
keep
we have to
learning.
keep up the certification.
What you got?
The garden, the one in the back, we maintain it, but it is a community effort. So I invite you guys to come and enjoy the meandering garden. We decided to not do a produce garden, which was the original plan, but to go to a pollinator garden. So we are in transition now, and we've got some seeds that are out there. So I would invite you guys, if you want to come by Fridays, we have a group of volunteers that come by. If you want to come by and grab some pods or whatever that is that's out there, feel free to come by. You can get to it by way of the back of the building, or you can come through the building and there's a double door. And that happened. We were out there with a barren grass yard
And a
several
turtle.
years ago.
And a turtle.
And a turtle. And a turtle.
Is the mermaid still there?
No, the mermaid is there too. That was donated to us by a company off of Rockville Boulevard. But there was the turtle had his nose up against the wall because 20 years ago, the city came in, tore all that out, moved the turtle to come back and get it, and never did. So our goal with the turtle was to move him or her so that she greeted people as they came into adult day, and that happened.
Hey,
Nice.
Barbara, Donna has reminded me that I skipped part of my script. So just so you'll know, we have 140 master gardeners in Norfolk to do all this. And right now we have 26 ongoing programs that
Wow.
we support in Norfolk. So we're really excited about what we do.
Can you tell, every year I plant 6 tomato plants. I plant flowers around them. What kind of flowers can I plant that are not caterpillars that will eat the eggs?
Well, plant marigolds around them, first of all. That's probably your best card there. But caterpillars eating the tomatoes, is that the hornworm caterpillar, that big
No, I
guy?
said, I don't want to plant any plants that have caterpillars.
Oh, that will encourage you. No, plant marigolds.
Yeah.
There you go.
What you got, Clem?
Yeah, for those green caterpillars, you say plant miracle? Is that what you use?
No, I was asking if that's what, marigolds are good for just repelling a lot of insects, but for the hornworm caterpillar,
The killers.
You gotta
They-
pick them off.
you've got to pick them off. But also, if you have a pollinator garden, there is a wasp that lays their eggs on that hornworm caterpillar and kills them naturally for you. So if you see a hornworm caterpillar that has, they'll hatch more wasps for you to kill the rest of them.
Green caterpillars are very well disguised.
Yes.
Horrible.
They're
You
amazing,
really gotta really look at those.
That's
Yeah.
a survival tactic
Yeah.
for them.
but they do turn into a beautiful moth.
Wonderful.
They are, they're a beautiful moth. If you will.
I want to pull my tomatoes.
I know, and they're pretty destructive.
So I know you mentioned, stay away from the pesticides. Let me ask you a question. What about weed killers? Is there a safe or recommended way to remove weeds with?
Yes.
Issue is the label is the law. So you need to read the label. You definitely need to follow the directions carefully and don't believe that more is better. So don't,
Protect yourself.
yeah.
Gloves, long pants, shoes, mask.
But in all,
There are a lot of natural controls that you can use. And I should just go online. In fact, our former agent has a whole class on natural pesticides. You can even buy insects that eat other insects. So
I know the great thing now is my phone with, I don't know if it's Google Lens or what app, but I mean, you can hold it up to a plant. It's generally pretty good
Yeah.
about identifying what it
start with the least harmful to you. thing
Yeah.
that you
My
can.
issue is usually not the insects, it's the rodents.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
well,
rodents, well,
Squirrels, rodents.
Rodents are very- let me ask, maybe this is a good thing. So let me ask this one question. At the ice cream social, what are good plants to bring? What are good plants not to bring?
well, Donna has made a list
Oh,
of
perfect.
pollinator plants.
Perfect.
well, those aren't just, these are plants
Okay,
that you might really enjoy having in your garden. Most of them are perennials, some annuals. Go and buy some zinnia seeds and spread them around. They're annuals, but you'll love having them.
but if you bring a flowering plant, most of the plants will feed the pollinators.
Okay.
It's not like our azaleas and camellias, which we all love, but they don't do a thing for a single pollinator. But even zinnias, which are not natives, the pollinators can get food from that. So if you bring flowering,
Flower.
unless it's invasive, and then we'll tell you whether
Okay.
we'll kick it out. No, never. We might kick the plant out.
Yeah,
though.
fair enough.
As long as you don't bring us English ivy,
That doesn't-
privet, or what else?
Bamboo.
Oh,
You know, June is probably not too bad a time if you want to thin out something that you like, but has spread out, maybe some daisies or,
Black-eyed
I have a
Susans.
lot of chrysanthemums.
Well, even mint. I have lots of.
Mint is great.
Mint is good.
Not just a little bit of it.
No,
No.
you
Intense
either,
amount of mint.
you either have a lot of mint or no mint.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
It's best to just put that in a pot and sink the pot.
I think I have a quarter acre of mint.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't want it all.
Oh.
But that one slide that was up there was that where I said, that was it. See, you've got, no, there you go.
That's, yeah.
See, you've got coneflowers in the front, you've got black-eyed Susans that are the yellow or brown-eyed Susans, and then the other, I think, is mountain mint, don't you?
Yeah,
It's over there.
mountain mint is on my
So-
list, and that's not a spreading it.
That's not what I have.
And it's a wonderful. But you know what? The pollinators like the other.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So, I mean,
I'm
the
not
things,
taking it out. It's very.
the
pretty.
things that can be very common in your yard are very helpful. Black-eyed Susans will take over the world if you let them. Coneflowers have taken over most of my front yard. Brenda walks past my house, so she.
Yeah, we found that we like growing some herbs, but we found that I'm surprised the parsley comes back every year, but it does. But the monarch literally eat it to the ground. Right.
It's the swallowtail.
Swallowtail.
Oh, it's the
Swallowtail,
swallowtail. Sorry,
yeah.
swallowtail.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We've
wonderful.
been- I knew it was
Parsley,
a big
fennel,
Fat, yeah.
Queen Anne's lace, all those things.
Things that, when we were growing up,
Carrots.
your parents called weeds. We love them. Queen's Anne's lace.
Mhm.
Raisins. Not a native.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna turn up the loud hot projector.
Well, thank you.
Thank
And
you
do
for
help yourself to our
coming to present.
Yes.
information every day.
Yeah, wait, before you leave, take some.
All right, Clem, do you want to hit the lights?
Sure.
Turn it back on. You need me to
You think we put you.
I got a good report. Yeah, but I got
Okay, well, do you want to go next?
Oh, sure,
All right, well, do you want me, I can give you a quick introduction.
sure.
So this is Jamie Golden. I think
Uh,
she's been here before. I'm not sure how long it's been. It was a couple months.
Came like maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
2 months ago.
But she's our neighborhood specialist, helping, it was area 4, which I'm not even sure all of it covers.
Yes.
This area of the city, right?
NSA 4, which actually has grown some, so I have Park Place now and the ODU corridor, so
All
as
the way
well
over here, yeah.
as this area all the way down to Colonial Place.
Yeah.
So.
So here to, I don't know, share with us some of what's going on.
Yeah, so I just wanted to quickly go over, we've had a lot of civic leagues restarting in this area. And so your neighboring civic leagues are doing some stuff and growing. Belvedere Civic League started about 3 months ago. Titus Town started late last year, and they have good attendance. And they're trying to do some stuff with gardening in their civic league. Denby Park Civic League is actually having their first in-person meeting this Saturday at Guad's. Riverfront is actually trying to restart next month. And Meadowbrook has restarted late last year as well. And then Talbot Hall here, and they are active. So definitely if you guys need to get in touch with people or you want to know what they're doing, I can definitely get you that information. And of course, Suburban Acres has maintained their meetings even throughout COVID. So we do have our speaker series that we're still in. The one for Thursday or Wednesday night, sorry, is actually sold out, but we do have 2 more of our speaker series, and that's facilitating neighborhood conversations, and that's on April 5th at Richard Tucker Library, and then good organizational practices, and that's on Wednesday, April 26th. And that's at Richard Tucker as well. And so I know the Granby Street bike lanes, just an update that they submitted a layout for the design, and locations for concrete repairs. So they are starting to move on that, and Vice Mayor might have more of an update on that. And then I know there was a meeting today, I believe, on the recreation and library. So don't forget we have the Block by Block grant if you guys want to utilize that. It's a $2,500 matching grant, and we also have a $500 starter grant, and we use those for neighborhood beautification projects. And it's an application. It takes a little bit of work, but it's definitely worth it to do something in the neighborhood. So
Bob and I were just joking last Thursday. I bumped in and we were joking that we need to name that asphalt sidewalk out here the Martin Thomas Byway.
Byway, I like that.
So
Hey, I did a heck of an application for this.
You did, it was
Great.
great, to the point and it went way over budget.
As I planned.
that's what I got.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but if you guys ever need anything, if you put something into the call center or My Norfolk app, and you're not hearing back from people, give me a call. I'll leave my card so you guys can take it. Or if you just have you're not sure who to talk to in the city about something going on in the neighborhood. And Scott knows I answer emails pretty quickly and phone calls. So anything you guys need.
24/7.
Yes. Yes.
Jamie, I think it would be a good idea if you would let us know what the other civic leagues are talking about. We're all centered around the West Point.
Most of it's economic development. What's going on with the economic development? Flowers in a Garden Park's getting a new business in there. I know we're getting a Black Rifle Coffee. I don't know where we are with the other big thing, but yeah, still talking. So a lot of it's that. Traffic also seems to be something that people are talking about, especially in Titustown. They're working with transit to get some additional stop signs in their neighborhood. Talbot Hall, the big thing is the DePaul hospital site and what's going on over there. So, and bike lanes. Denby Park, some of the Denby Park, Monticello Village, they're still trying to get back up and running. Cottage Road Park and Monticello Village are strictly meeting on Facebook right now, and so they do all their stuff through Facebook. And most of that's just little what we like to call pothole issues. So little issues on there, but no major ones so far. But we are starting to see people meeting again, and so we'll hear more and more. But if I hear of anything, I can definitely get you that information. And of course, the Ward's Corner Task Force, anybody can come to that meeting. And the next one is May 11th, I believe. Oh, I had it on my phone.
That sounds right.
Yeah, May 11th, 8:30, right here in this building, but in the smaller conference room. And you can come online or in person. So either way.
Karen Hayes actually sent your minutes from the last meeting around the suburban park.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes, we're sharing. I think that's a good idea. I think that's right.
Yeah.
This morning she sent it around.
Yep.
Okay.
And I send those out to everybody to have on the list. So it's welcome to go to everybody. And it does give a good overview of what's going on.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Jamie,
Yeah.
for all you do for us.
Oh,
We
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Yeah. Anything you guys need.
And Martin, what do you got? I see a piece of paper here.
I have a piece of paper. Lots of notes. I want to talk fitness and wellness center. So last update I gave, I told y'all we were waiting on In Motion, which is Bon Secours, to get back to us on whether they were going to be a participant in the redeveloped. They kind of estimated that they needed about 6,000 square feet in a new developed fitness and wellness center. So it's okay. I think we take that 6,000 square feet, 6,000 extra square feet of field space. That's all good news for us, I think. So we are now moving forward. Had a meeting, as Jamie indicated, this afternoon. There will be money in this upcoming year's budget for 2 line items that have to do with the Fitness and Wellness Center. One of them is to fund the Fitness and Wellness Center. With that said, it will take probably at least 2 years worth of construction. So it will be a lengthy construction period. Have not yet figured out whether we're going to reuse portions of this building or not. Have not yet figured out whether it will be built where this building is located or whether it will be built somewhere else on this property. That will all be done as a part of the procurement process where the various developers will bid on the project, and we'll see where the bids come in, what their designs are, what the prices are, and then the one will be chosen. What we do know is that when we go out for the bid process, we're going to provide the results of the survey that we did back in the summer and the fall and say these are the things that the people want to see in the new Fitness and Wellness Center. And it's been a long time, so I brought that just to kind of remind y'all of what is currently being planned to be in that center. So as far as the aquatics section of the building, you're going to have a fancy word, natatorium, which will be a 8-lane lap pool, 25 meters long, with ADA access. There will also be a separate therapy pool, which will be warmer. And then you're also going to have for the kids a lazy river and an indoor splash pad with water slides. You will be able to hold competitive swim meets there. So things like Granby's swims team and things like that will be able to have their meets here at the fitness center. There'll be a pool classroom and pool team meeting room and all the required office meeting spaces for the pool section. Next section, fitness, cardio room, an elevated indoor running track, fitness room, a gym with 1 basketball court with seating for about 250 to 300 people, personal trainer areas, weight rooms, a childcare space, fitness classrooms, and then storage areas for all that stuff. Library section. Information desk, you're going to have a kids zone, you're going to have a library pickup lock on the outside. So you order a book online, it'll be in a locker for you. You're going to have seating nooks. You're going to have 5,000 square feet of books, stacks. You're going to have workrooms and a drive-through window for picking up books and various seating areas for reading. They have a lobby section, which is obviously the lobby and the front desk. There's going to be locker rooms, men's, women's, bathrooms, sauna rooms, and then various offices for the staff. And then there'll be public meeting rooms, which includes a computer room, and then, of course, a room similar to this for us to have our public meetings in. Now, what you did not hear me say is that we are not having any space for adult daycare or Prime Plus. And that's why I'm glad Bob's here, because their second line item in the budget is going to be a line item to help move Prime Plus to the Titus Town Recreation Center. So Prime, if y'all don't know, the Titus Town Recreation Center is a rec center, but it's also the city's art center. It's got a whole wing. It's got all kinds of different artists and related stuff in there. So we're going to combine those. We're going to make a multi-generational center, if I'm correct, Bob, so that you'll have the adult daycare center. You're going to, and Bob, come on up, Bob, help me. I'm not going to describe your portion as well as you can.
Well, it'd be interesting because we did the tour.
We did. So we're going to build you the kitchen. We're going to build you the abilities to do your adult daycare, which is important. But we're also not taking the center away from the neighborhood or from the students who go there after school right now. During the day, it pretty much sits empty, but after school, the kids use the gym there to play basketball and other things. And of course, they have their Civic League meetings there in a room similar to this as well. So all those uses are going to be able to continue moving forward, as Bob is now going to program a multi-generational building for the city.
As I've said, just because you have a building and you unlock the door and provide access to a room, does that mean you have a program? So we're real excited about what we can pull off there. How many of you been to the Titus Town Center? Okay, so on the left-hand side, you got the open rooms in that. So, and then on the right-hand side is the visual arts. What we're looking at there is creating 2 flex rooms that will allow programming 12 hours a day. That's what we're shooting for. And then there's going to be an arts and ceramics room and a wood shop. We're going to move our wood shop over there. I kind of slipped in the 12 hours a day. What we're looking at is multi-generational from 8 to 1, 50 and above, 1 to 3:30, 18 and above, and 3:30 on back to the whole community. Little things like we're going to have three. We're hoping to have 3 pickleball courts in the gym. And so during the day, we'll have exercise classes. Like if you've been over here during the day, in the morning, you'll see 40 people out here exercising in the atrium. They'll be doing that in the gym. The 2 flex rooms will allow us then to have exercise in the rooms in the morning and then activities in the afternoon. Civic League meetings, very important part, community meeting. In fact, we want to make this a community center. The room that the community meetings have usually been in is a larger room. That'll be the adult day. So the 2 flex rooms that we're creating, and then there's another room that has a kitchenette. That'll become a community room, a flex room. You might have sewing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon there, and then it'll be converted over. So we're excited about the opportunities and working not only just with Parks and Rec, but to creating collaborative partnerships with other nonprofits. One of the visions we had Sunday at Engage Norfolk was working with Reach, which is a nonprofit that exchanges books for kids. The idea of having them come over for an after-school program Tuesdays and Thursdays. They exchange books with the kids in the community, and then kids read to seniors. And so that kind of programming to look at all, for 12 hours, Monday through Friday. So that's kind of the vision. Now, having said all this, we've had what? This has been public for about 15 minutes.
That's it. this room and whoever's on Facebook.
Yeah. So we're excited about the next generation.
So yeah,
and thank you for making that happen.
No, we're excited, and it takes away the uncertainty of whether your program would be able to continue while this building's under construction or being renovated. So now we all know and can be, reassured that Time Plus will continue.
And the turtle may or may not go. I'm not sure, but there will be a garden component.
Yep.
And we're going to move the pollinator garden over there this summer. We'll maintain it here, and then we'll move that over. But also working with the community about maybe doing a vegetable garden. So there's plenty of green space there.
So.
Huh?
I said they would love the vegetable garden because they've been trying to do that too.
Yeah, and so, but it's a matter of bringing together the different organizations to make it happen, and not just have open up the doors and say, you guys make it happen. We're going to encourage the collaborative partnership.
Very cool.
That's the big news. Pushing forward, making things happen.
Martin, will
Yes.
this be single or 2-story?
It could be either. We don't know that yet. We've talked about the option for it to be 1 level or 2. It really is so because of the procurement process we're going to use. The builders are going to come in and say, all right, this is our best way to do it, and then we'll pick up however many apply, we'll pick the best one. So some of them may come in and say we're doing 2 stories. Some may say.
You mentioned the building and interior spaces. Has any of the exterior fields and things like that, and any changes that have been decided or layouts?
No. I mean, no layouts. We will continue to have a very large grass field that will be used very similar to one we have now. It'll be sized so that it can have lacrosse, soccer, but also have a corner where there's softball, baseball. So yes, that is a part of the plan. But no, again, as a part of the procurement process, we let the contractors come in and say, this is the way they want to bid to do it, the field here, the building there, and then we get to pick. So, all right, that's my big update. Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Anybody have anything for me?
Appreciate it. We're letting you off easy. All right.
That was a big announcement.
That
It was big.
Bob's going to be ringing off the hook tomorrow.
Yeah. Titus Town's gonna want you to come out.
When is Titus?
Second Monday of each month.
It usually is.
Yeah.
We'll get it in there.
Yeah.
Don't want to know.
Yeah.
And they'll have access to that extra parking lot that we purchased years ago.
Correct.
Oh, is that the one you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
by the veterinarian clinic, that's a city lot. It used to be the Alexis Apartments that we bought, tore down to the actual parking lot.
It was funny because and we've been talking about this, so there's been a lot of dreaming, and you may have seen the magazine, the Senior Advocate magazine, and we had a photographer come in to do that, and he was using one of the things I've talked about was Centura College and Tower Tech, maybe doing some job development work and that kind of thing. Well, they also have their aviation school. So one of the things we're talking about, can you imagine having a 9-year-old teach a 70-year-old how to fly a drone? I had to quit telling that story. This will be the last time I tell it, because we had a drone in the gym taking pictures of pickleball, and all of a sudden it just started drifting down because it's registered with the FAA and it's part of the flight zone from the Navy base. So we won't be able to do that.
Oh my gosh.
But we're excited about the opportunity, and we'll be engaging the community in how we can really enhance the program.
Quickly for Martin, did anybody see the banner right next to the Pancake House? It's a cannabis business there. I saw that today.
Yes, that is a new business that will be selling legally. Cannabis, they're legalized.
Any other questions?
No wonder there's gonna be a demand for it.
Already is.
Maybe.
Already is.
I never seen Black Rifles
Like they go through
finally
work.
doing work. Alright. And remind me, what was going into that one other open spot in the Harris Teeter? T-Mobile. It was T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yep.
I think I overheard you say, as far as the target, it's still under discussion.
Still negotiating. Still negotiating. Everything seems to be going in the right direction. We're very encouraged.
All right. I do want to remind people we've got our
Yeah, we have
what are
our
calling these committees.
committees. Yeah. And I know a couple of people did last time. If I can get your emails as well, that would be helpful. Instead of having to call everybody, that would be great. But yeah, if you haven't signed up and you do want to sign up, I would love it. We have a couple of different committees we're going to kick off in the next month, and get everybody going and just do some more stuff to get everybody engaged and involved here in the Civic League. And we have the event coming up too. So if you do want to help with the ice cream social, definitely we'd love to have that help, because that's a fun time for sure. Oh, and we have our Facebook group has started as well, so you can find the Ward's Corner Civic.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because I do keep up with some of the stuff on there if like people are complaining about stuff. I might not write back, but I'll
Yeah.
ask about it.
I think it's a
so,
little bit
Yeah.
a friendlier space
Yeah.
sometimes than next door,
yes,
so a little softer, a little gentler.
definitely,
So
yes.
Less missing pets.
yes,
Yeah.
so far, yeah. So, yeah.
All right. So we've got our next membership meeting, April 17th here in this conference room. I likely personally will not be here, but our board will fill in for me. And we've got, I know some speakers already lined up. We'll get a few more for you and get that information out. We'll probably starting in April, we'll probably start seeing some of the state legislature candidates coming through. Just remind everyone, the new districts that we sit in, there are no incumbents. So the people who represent us now will not represent us after November.
And we're probably looking at primaries.
Right.
Busy primaries on both sides of the aisle.
So we get to go choose our own destiny here.
Whatever happened
That's
to
it.
Darius Clark?
Hmm?
Whatever happened to Darius Clark? He was supposed to be elected as our representative. Did they change the lines after that?
Right. Yeah. So he is currently, but then they redistricted. So actually I don't even know what number he's in now, but he's redistricted to over to Portsmouth. All right, well, I will wrap it up there. Get out of here early. I'm sure the staff will be excited about that. But thanks everyone for coming, and please take some gardening literature on your way out and sign up for some committees.
Have you guys thought about popsicle ice cream? You know, the cops have an ice cream truck.
Oh, really?